topics very careful, okay, and you need to understand all these topics. If you miss all this, then you will not able to understand Selenium. So can anybody tell me quickly what is overloading, what is overriding? Anybody, you can tell me quickly. First, start with overloading. Can anybody tell? Same name and different parameters, okay. Any other difference is there? Okay, yeah, there may be different number of parameters as well as different types of parameters, that is overloading, okay. So we will directly come to the Eclipse and we will see here overloading, okay. After that, and I will give an assignment that you have to complete today only. See, assignment means learning. If you are doing your assignments, means you are learning, okay. New and then overloading example. I will go right click, make a class base, okay, and finish it. Now in this base class I will create a method void m1, okay, or add. See, these are basic examples and all the persons are coming the covering the basics example, because through the easy examples it is easy to understand the concept, okay. But in Selenium, when you will go, it will not be that easy, but if your concepts are clear, you will able to understand easily, okay. So here I will create a method which will add two numbers. So integer number 1 comma integer number 2, okay, and when I am writing integer it means int, okay. And in this will return, I will make it integer type, because we have seen lots of example with the void return type which is returning nothing, okay. So here we have to understand return type should there. You will see this error when once you go this. What is it saying? That this method must return a result of type integer. Why this should return? Because your method return type is integer, so it should return something in the form of integer, okay. Since it was void, it does not need to return anything, okay. But now once it is integer return type, it has to return the integer. So just I will do one thing, add return statement, okay, and it is returning number 2, but we have to return the addition of two numbers, okay. So I will write like this, number 1 plus number 2, okay. So what it will return? Number 1 plus number 2, or you can write like this to make it easy, integer number integer addition is equal to number 1 plus number 2, okay, and now you return addition, okay, that's also okay, okay. So here I have this number Okay. After this, see, till the end of the class, if you have any doubt, you are free to ask the questions. We will learn many things here. Okay. So this is one of the method that I have created. I will create a main class for it. Base main, you can give any name, and when you are giving the name, you should remember the naming convention of the classes, methods, everything. Okay. I will check main method this time and finish it out. Okay. So main method is created and main class is also created. Now if I have to utilize this base class inside this base main, then we have to do one thing. What? We have to create object for it, because this is different class, this base is different class, and this base main is different class. Okay. So if I want to call this method, then I have to create this object, I have to create object for this class. Okay. So that's why in the last session I have covered what is, how to create the object, what is class, what is object. In the last session on the Saturday I have covered this. Okay. And immediately next day we had doubt session. Okay. So it will be easy now to understand to you. Okay. Base is equal to new base. Okay. Now instead of the base, instead of writing here object, why I have written base? Can anybody tell me? This is just name, anything we can give here, because naming conventions should be clear. Okay. Suppose we have a program where 20,000 line of code written, and what, when I am saying like this 20,000 line of code, so understand in a way that whatever I am saying is as per my experience only. Okay. Because nobody writes a script in 5 line or 10 lines. Okay. A script will be much longer. In that case, lots of classes will be used, and then if you write like obj dot and this and that, obj1 obj2, nobody will be able to understand who is coming after you that code. Okay. Nobody will be able to understand, but once you will use the object name same as class name, then it will be easy to understand, okay, this object is of that class and what that class is doing he knows. Okay. So based on that we have to practice from today only. Okay. Otherwise there you will see object, here you will see base. Okay. Suppose here you write object and there you will see base. Oh, what is this, how it's going out? Now you know that what are the standards. Okay. You have to follow from the first day, then it will be coming on the practice. Okay. Now I have to call one method, base dot add. Okay. So let me call this, how to call, object name dot, when you click on object name dot, then you see it will suggest to the method available in class base, because you have created the object for base class. That is why it will suggest you the method of class base. Okay. And here I will double click, it will come number 1. What you want to pass, what type of the number? You can see integer, this is integer. Okay. So in this method you have to pass integer values only. Okay. And now I am not going to tell what are the integer values, this is normal mathematics. Okay. Now save your program, and when I will run this, run as Java application, you will see returning. Okay. If it is returning something and you want to print it here, then you have to receive it, integer sum is equal to this, and then you print it. Okay. and sum you print, or you directly you can print this base dot at 1020, it will also work. Okay. Now run as Java application, you can see 30 is returned to you. Okay. Directly if you want, you don't want to write this integer, then just write it here like and pass it inside the system dot out. Okay, this will also work. Based on your coding skills you have to do this. Okay, but if you write like this integer sum and then you are printing this sum, then it will be more clear to the person who is coming after you for the project. Okay, so this I did like this. Okay, now I will make it that way only. Okay, so this is not overloading, this is normal method that you have created, and then because you know in your project this method is common anytime you have the requirement for the addition. Okay, suppose you are developing a calculator application, so anytime you have to use this method, addition method, but there are two arguments only. Tomorrow you want to add three numbers. Okay, tomorrow you want to add three numbers, and it is not only about add, this is just about to understand the concept. Okay, so here this is the example where you have to write like this. Okay, now suppose you there are two numbers, integer add integer number 1 comma integer number 2, now integer number 3, and then integer addition is equal to number 1 plus number 2 plus number 3. Okay, and you have to return addition. Okay, now you can see there is a method which has two arguments, this method has three arguments. Okay, and all are integers. Now if I will pass here 30, then which method will be called? Here it will decide only 10, 20 and 30. These are three different arguments, all of type integer. Add method, it will try to find out add method in the class base which have three integer arguments as a parameter. Okay, so this is the one of the method inside the base class which has three integer params. Okay, so it will call this, and you can see if I will pass two parameters, it will call parameters with the number of integer arguments 2 in the base class. Why in the base class? Because you have created the object for the base class, and through that object you have called this method. Okay. Now what is also said, first of all let me run this program, then I will come to the next part, just Java application, and you can see 60, 10 and 20 is equal to 30 plus 30 is equal to 60 has been returned from which method? From this addition method. Okay, because this has two parameters. Now your task, you just note down your task. Last session on the Saturday I have covered debugging. Okay, you have to write this same program and debug it. Okay, so how will you debug it? That I will upload that lecture, and you just, I have actually got the that connection and that is working. So, I will upload all the sessions today, and you have to see the previous lecture how we can debug the code. We have to go inside this method, inside this add method. So, how will you jump to that add method? By pressing F5. How will you debug the code? Just watch last section and then you will able to do it. Okay, this is your task, because if you will not practice the debugging part, then you will forget it and it will be a problem when you will work in your project. Okay. So, here this I have done. So, this 3 integer parameter method is called. Now, see, the method name is same. Suppose I want to add in, I have this method string add, okay, string 1 comma string 2. One plus 2. Okay. Now I will pass, I will comment this line, comment this line int, I will pass call base dot, here I will call, you can see first of all here base dot, it is suggesting one method integer number 1, integer number 2, then it is suggesting string 1, string 2, then number 1, number 2, number 3. Okay. Now, I will call base dot this string 1. First of all, you have to pass the string inside it, because whatever you have declared is in the form of string. So, you want to call the string method, so you have to pass the string. So, I will pass 1 then, and the second string is passed in that way only. Yeah, this one in the double quotes. Okay. Now, I will print this, or just string concat, string means concatenated, and then I will print it out this. So, you will not have any confusion, because whenever you are using plus operator with the string that you are using in the base class, it will concatenate these two strings. Okay. Now, I will run this program. Vandan and then Mishra. Okay. These both string was concatenated. Why? You first string you passed Vandan, then second you passed Mishra. So, you are passing two string parameters. So, it will call, try to find out a method inside the base class which have two string as a parameter. So, it will go here, two string as a parameter, string 1 and string 2, these are two string parameters, then it will be returning 1 plus 2, and 1 plus 2 will return Vandan Mishra. If you want to space here, okay, if you want to space here, just use one more concatenation operator and give a space here. Whatever you this is programming, whatever you want you can do it. Okay. Because here you have concatenated one more string, okay, which is space. Space is also in the form of string. Okay, just it will give a space here. This is to you, so space is here. Okay, so this is programming. If you know the basics, you can do it on. Okay, now here you have to note down some points, and what are those points? First of all, the method overloading is not only the number of parameters are different, even the number of parameters are same. Number of parameters here are how much? 2. Number of parameters inside this add method, here also 2, but if the types are different, means if these had different type, this was the string type, this was the integer type and this is the string type. Okay. So, if the data types also different, then that is also overloading. Okay. The return type is also different, that doesn't mean that is overloading. Okay. Here you have to only take care of these things, since you have to return the strings here, then it is same. Okay, so it is about that. Okay, so this is about overloading. Okay, overloading is also termed as compile time polymorphism or static binding. If anybody in a, yeah, wait, yeah, sure. See what I said, what the error, first you see the error, duplicate method add integer in type base, means duplicate method is matching with this add with the this add method, and what it's saying that doesn't matter you have the different return type integer here and void here. Okay, but still the types of the parameters are same. Okay, means you have inside you have two integer parameters. Okay, so you cannot say that I have different return type, that's why it's overloading. Overloading not means the different return type. Overloading means that different data type inside the parameter or the different number of argument inside the parameter. So here the my what I said was that over some maybe interviewer will ask you for making you in a confused situation that is it overloading, you will say no, it will be an error inside the program because this two different integer parameters are in the method add, and same this add method has two different integer parameters. Okay, but return type different doesn't matter, but the because this will perform the same task. Okay, either you return or print it here only. If you will write like integer return type, then you have to return some value. If you use the void, then you need not to return some value. Is it clear? Yeah, yeah, yes. So okay, so I was saying that static binding and the compile time polymorphism or overloading are the similar terms. Anyway, he can ask you that what is static binding, what is compile time polymorphism, and what is static binding. Then you have to reply in the same way. Okay, so this is about overloading in Java. Anybody has any doubt, then ask me. Otherwise, I will go to overriding. See, in Selenium, whatever the methods we are using are almost overloaded. We have a assert class, their assert equals, you will pass their string parameters, sometimes you will pass true or false boolean parameters, means return type may be different. At that time I will show you this is overloading, then you have to explain me that where is the overloading. So if you understand this now, then you will be able to tell me. Okay, so this is about overloading. Anybody has any doubt in overloading? If you have note down the points, then it is good for you, like static binding is overloading, compile time polymorphism is overloading. So if I will ask you what is polymorphism, now you will say sir your polymorphism you have not covered. So polymorphism is what? This is only the polymorphism. Okay, why it is said as compile time polymorphism? Because at when you are compiling your code, it is deciding whether which method it has to call. Okay, so this is overloading. Now I will go to overriding. So I have created two classes, one is parent and one is child. Inside, first of all we have to understand what is overriding. Okay, so first you have to understand one way, that if if a class, suppose your your father has developed something and you are not satisfied with that, you want to modify that thing. Likewise, if I say that my father have developed a home which has 2 floors or 3 floors, or marbles are there in the floors or not, or tiles are there or not, I want to modify in a situation, then developed by him, and whole house I am not going to decorate, but some points that I don't like I will override. Okay, so else some part will be same, some part will not be same. Okay, so this is overriding. If a child class is not satisfied with the implementation of the parent class, then child class has ability to override that method. But when I am saying child and parent, then it means that we are using the inheritance, because without inheritance there is no child parent concept that I have covered in the Saturday session. If you have not, if you are not present in that session, first of all you have to understand what is inheritance. Okay, then only you will be able to understand the this. Okay, so first of all we will see this, and then we will try to understand the differences between overloading and overriding. Write down your points, interview question, whatever I am saying are the important interview questions as well. Okay, so here child class has method void m1. Okay, sorry, this is parent class, and parent class has one method m1. Method, just one line code I am writing inside this method, but just to make you understand this concept. Okay, but tomorrow you have, you will able to understand everything if you are only understand the concept. Okay, m1, method m1 in parent, okay, class, and I will create one more method which will be method m2 in parent class. Okay, now this is the child class. Okay, and when it will become child, when you will extends, use this keyword to inherit that class properties. If child class wants parent class properties, then inheritance. Okay, and this is which kind of inheritance, which type of inheritance? This is single inheritance, because this is single inheritance, just because this parent this child class is extending parent. Okay, now through inheritance all these methods will be coming to the child class, because child class is extending this parent class. So all the parent class properties will be coming in the child class. So this is inheritance that I am repeating. You, if you are want to understand in depth, then watch my last lecture. I will upload it today, and maybe uploaded already. So here child class is not satisfied with the parent class for this m1 method. Okay, so what I will do, you don't need to write this here, you don't need to write these methods here, otherwise what is the need of the parent child concept. Okay, first of all just go to main. Okay, and check this method. I will create main class, okay, which have main method, and I will create object for child class first. Child is equal to new child. Okay, and oh just make this, because since that is in different package, this is why error is coming. Let's understand what's happening here. You see the cursor over here, cannot resolve to a type, and what is saying, to fix this, import child inheritance example in this package. Okay, what is saying, I am telling you that this main class by mistake I have created inside this overloading example package. Okay, but this child class is present inside this overriding package. Okay, so same is saying that it is not able to find this child class in this package. If you want this child class object created in the different package, like in this main class which is in different package, then you have to tell the package name here where the child class is present, because it is not able to find the child class in this overloading example package. Okay, so by mistake I have created, I will copy and paste here. When you practice it, you will understand all these things. If you in your program there errors are coming, then you should be happy instead of you worry about that. Okay, because whatever the errors are coming, only those are the learnings. If whatever the some spiritual thought says, like if you are traveling in a path where you don't face any problem, it means you are in a wrong path. Okay, so if you are not facing the errors, it means you are copying and pasting the code. Okay, okay, so here what I will do, I will just delete this one. What I will do, I will create object for the child class. Okay, so child class object I will create which has no method, but methods are coming through the parent class, because it is extending this last session I told you in inheritance child dot, since you have not written any method, still it is suggesting you these methods you are able to call, because and these methods are coming through m1 and m2 coming through parent. This is written. So what I am saying, that you have created the object for the child class, still you are able to call it just because of inheritance. So child dot m1 and then child dot m2. Okay, and just remove this here. Now if you run this program, you can see method m1 in parent class, method m2 in parent class, but suppose this m1 method is performing some task, m2 method is performing some task. Suppose you are developing a gaming application and the gaming application has a problem. Some people may be paid members of that game, some people may be unpaid members of them. So the gaming application team has decided whosoever will be paying us will be getting more accessibility, more visibility, more graphics, clear graphics. Okay, and more properties like gun and bum, whatever we have the games nowadays. Okay, so here the free members are in parent class, which are not paying anything and just playing that game, watching the ads on the game, and the game is earning from the free members also. Okay, so here these are free members, but tomorrow you will pay because you will be addicted for that game. So you will be expecting more accessibility of that game. So that child class will say, okay, these 5 properties which has been written in the M1 method, as of now don't be confused what I am saying about 5 properties. Today you are writing here the 5 properties, but here just written a single line of code, but tomorrow in this method there will be more properties will be written here. So this child class will be using those 5 properties, as well as it will write own 2 properties for the more accessibility. So here void, or you can write here parent class restricted. Restricted means that the accessibility is restricted. Okay, just I have written it down so that you will be able to match what I am saying. Void m1 sysout copy the same message. So better child class unrestricted, suppose I write here. Okay, now if I will call this one, I have created the object for the child class, then I have called the m1 method, then I will run this and you will see first method will be method m1 in child class unrestricted, means the accessibility of the some properties is given to the child class, because child class now has written its own method for that game. Okay, and some accessibility they has given, but suppose see, whenever you are overriding any method, you must use, and this is the coding standard, you have to write this annotation. I will explain this. At the rate override control space and enter. Okay, what does it mean? Whenever you are using the at the rate override, it means that this method you are overriding. Okay, now you can say, sir, this m1 method was present inside this parent, now we are writing in child, so of course this is overriding, then why we are writing? There is a difference. It means it will be checking this m1 method inside this parent. Okay, if that is present inside this parent or not. If not present, then it will be error. It will ask you that you are saying that you are overriding a method, but there is no method in the parent class in the with the same name. Suppose I make it 3. We don't have any m3 method inside parent class. Now and you are saying here that we are overriding this, then see the error. Error you will see the method m3 of type child must override implement a super type method, but there is no method present here. So it is saying create m3 in super type, means in parent class you must create. If you are saying this, you are overriding that this method, then this method should be present in the parent class. Okay, but if you will remove this override, then error is gone. Now it is saying that it is a new method for me. For class child, this is a new method, but when you use the override, then it is checking that you are saying that you are overriding this method, but there is no same method is present in the parent class. Okay, so I will make it m1. Now is it clear or not? Is it clear to everyone? Okay, I hope this is clear to all. Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Thank you. So this is mm, okay, okay, okay. See what I am saying, that what is overriding? Overriding when child class is not satisfied with the implementation of parent class methods, then child class has ability to override that method. Okay, just forget this override. Okay, as of now just forget this. So this m1 method is overridden from this parent, because see, in this parent class you have m1 method. Okay, in this parent class you have m1 method. If the same m1 method is you are overriding in the child class, in the same method you are writing in the child class, that means that this is overriding the parent method. You are not forcefully asked to write override. It will understand by own that you are overriding this method. But suppose if you are writing this m3, okay, now it will be considered as a new method, because in the parent class m1 and m2 method are present, but there is no m3 method. So this is a new method for this child class. Okay, now if I am saying this, I am writing m1. Okay, now if you are coming to this code, if you are coming to this project first time, then how will you able to understand that this method is overriding or not? You have to manually go to the parent class and you have to manually check whether this method is overridden or not. Okay, but to overcome this situation, Java developers has designed a technique that if you are overriding any method, then it is recommended to use the at the rate override. It is not forced that you have to use, it will not be a error, but if you use, this is recommended to use at the rate override annotation. Okay, and what this annotation means, that you are overriding this method. So whosoever will be coming after you in this project will be able to understand, okay, you are overriding this method. If you want to see the draft version or the basic version of this method, you can go to the parent class and check. Okay, but if you will not override this, still it is overriding. If you not, still it is overriding, but if you will write like this, then it is overriding. This is clear. Okay, now what this override annotation will do, this is the question. Okay, so this override at the rate override annotation says that you are overriding this method, you are overriding this method, and if you are not overriding this method, then I will throw the error. Means if you will write m3 method and you are saying that you are overriding this method, so first I will go and check in the parent class whether we have the m3 method. No. So how can you say that you are overriding? Overriding means if the child class is not satisfied with the parent class, then it is overriding, and you are, there is no method in the parent class, no m3 method in parent class. So this is not overriding. This is a new method that you are creating. So it is saying, this override saying whether create m3 method in the parent class or remove annotation. Okay, so with it is saying like create m3 in the superclass type parent or remove this at the rate override, so that I will be able to understand this as a new method. Okay, now it is clear. Okay. other method means, yeah, yeah. See, here I have to explain what is overriding. Okay, so what I have did, I have created two methods m1 and m2. Okay, now I am trying to override this method. So overriding means the method name should be same. Okay, just like in the overloading we have the same method's name, means the method is same, but the properties has extra properties are coming, or it need to reduce some properties. Then what it's doing, that we are it is we have I have written like this way. Now you are saying like this is single line of code, there may be multiple line of codes. Okay, you can do one thing, you can create a method which will add two numbers, and in the same method when you will override, you will multiply all those numbers to calculate the factorial. Okay, so that will be overriding. Okay, so here agenda is not to write multiple line of codes, agenda is just to make you understand the concept. So yeah. No, multiplication is different task, totally different task. Don't go for the addition, subtraction. See, let me give you an example. Suppose in Selenium, you have in the web page you have the some text elements, sub button elements. So in Selenium you have some buttons, and you have a click method. Okay, you have click method, you have to click on the button, sometimes you have to click on the link sometimes. So we will write like click. Okay, and sometimes you will pass x path, sometimes you will pass different locators. Yeah, so okay, so this is for that purpose, this is just okay, this is not for addition and subtraction. Okay, so don't yeah, when it will come in that pace I will tell you there also. Okay, so just you understand what is at the rate override notation, what is this and that. Okay, now if it is clear I will move forward and see. This is m1 method, this is m2 method. Okay, and child has extended the parent, so all the parent properties are coming to the child. So inside child class you have this method m1, and m1 is also present in the parent. Now the next thing is that m2, why I have created this m2 method, I want to override this m2 method. Okay, suppose I want to override this m2 method, so I will simply go, let's copy it. Okay, if you are satisfied that okay, that much code I have to use, there is no changes, then it is inherited in the child class. But if you want to change some properties in this parent this method, then you have to override this. Okay, and why, see why only this class will override. Suppose this is the parent class which has a base implementation. Okay, so parent class has base implementation, this is a free version of the game. You think like this is the free version of the game. Okay, there may be 100 properties, hundreds of the properties. 500 plan has 10 properties given, 10 1000 plan has 20 properties given, and 10,000 plans all the 100 properties are given. So who will pay the 500? For that, this is the child class, which is child one. This is not like child class, parent class, this is like 500 plan class, 1000 plan class. Okay, so multiple child class will be created based on the payment plan. Okay, so this I hope this example you are able to relate it. Okay. So, similarly this M2 method, suppose I want to override in this child class, I am writing at the rate override. Will this be a problem? No, because this method is M2 method is present in the parent class. Okay. Now, what I will do, I will write it as final. Okay. Now, what this final will do, it will throw an error. What error? Whenever you will be using final keyword before any method, it means you cannot override that method. Okay. If you are using final keyword before any method, then in the child class you will not able to override that. Okay. You will not able to override that method anytime. Okay. So, you can see here it will throw error that cannot override the final method from parent. Okay. Either remove final if you want to override that. Okay. Suppose you are saying like I am overriding, you are saying I am overriding, you are not able to override just because of final method. If I remove this, still there will be an error, because override is not mandatory to write. Okay. At the rate override is not mandatory to write. Okay. But when you write it, you are saying that you are overriding, it will try to find out that method in the parent class, it will find, but it will see that it is a final method. Okay. These are total different things. Okay. So, here you have to remove the final from the parent class if you want to override this. Okay. So, we do not need to do that, we just need to understand the concept. So, final methods cannot be overridden. Okay. This is also an important interview question. I have written a new method. Okay. M3 inside child. See. So, what are the difference? You can override by using at the rate override, you can force that you are overriding this method. Just go and check inside the parent class, if that method is present inside parent class, then it's okay. Otherwise, throw error that you are saying that you are overriding this method, but this method is not present in the parent class. So, this is the task of the override. Whenever you are using this keyword final, then you are saying that you cannot override this method, but means parent class is saying whatever implementation I have given to you, you have to follow that implementation only, you are not able to override my method. Okay. Some properties in a game like players features or whatever there are, I do not play that much game, but whatever I have developed or I have did that, I can understand that some properties are there that you are not able to override, then you have to make them final. Okay. Similarly, child class can have its own method as well. This method M3 is not coming from the parent class, this is child class own method. Okay. So, child class can write its own method as well. To perform the overriding, you have to use the inheritance. Without inheritance, you cannot perform overriding. Okay. Now, it comes what are the differences between overloading and overriding. So, first of all, you have to reply not in that way that this is the different, this is the different. You have to say that there is nothing similarity between the overloading and overriding. First of all, your answer should be like this: overloading is a totally different concept and overriding is totally different concept. Overloading happens in the same class, overriding happens in the different classes. Overloading, since overloading is happening in the same class, it does not require inheritance, but overriding is happening in the different class and through the parent child relationship, through the inheritance. That is why you have to use the inheritance. Okay. And if overloading can have multiple parameters, in this class can also have overloaded methods. Okay. But this, oh, I hope you are able to understand. But here if you like write integer m1, just go to much step part m2, and similar you write here. Okay. See, before writing, just see What is the error? You are saying that this is method I am overriding. So it is going and find out a m1 method which has two integer parameter, but there is no integer parameter in the parent class. So this is not overriding. This is a new method that you are writing. Okay. So you have to remove this, or either you have to copy and paste in the parent class also. Okay. So this is overloading and overriding. Okay. Yeah. This is a new method for the child class. Okay, this does not relating anything with the parent. Okay, this it will, yeah, it inheritance means that it will extend all the properties of the parent class, but it does not means that it will not able to write its own properties. Okay, it is writing its own properties as well. Okay. Yeah. If you will write, then it will throw the error that this is not present in the parent class and you are saying you are overriding. Okay. Okay. So this is about overloading and overriding, override and final keywords, constructor chaining. Okay, come to this part. So yeah, yeah, this is called runtime polymorphism and the dynamic binding as well. Okay, see, when you are running this main method, okay, when you are running this main method, you are calling this child dot m1. Okay, so you, when you are running this method, at that time, at the compile time, it will check what it has to call, what it has to, but once it will call this method, okay, since what was happening in the base main class, it was deciding, okay, it has two parameters, I will call the method which has two parameters. Okay, but when, see, because whenever you are using the dot here, see, it is suggesting you which method you are want to call, this string 1 string 2. Okay, at that time when you will run this program, before or compile this program, it will decide that, okay, I have to call the method which has two string parameters. So this is compile time, it is deciding that, okay, I have to call this method. Okay, in the compile time only, in the code only you are passing this information. Okay, but this m1 method in child dot m1. Okay, so when you compile this program, this m1 method is present in the child class as well as the parent class. Now how it will decide which I have to call this, it will decide on the runtime. When you will run this program, then child equal to new child, you have called child dot m1. So first of all, since you have created the method in the child class as well as the parent class, it will go to child class first. Okay, it will check whether this method is present in the child class. Okay, yes, it is present in the child class. Okay, now it will call the child class method. Okay, it will call the child class method, but if it will not present in the child class, then since you are writing here extend parents. Okay, so if you are writing here extend parent, then it will check that, okay, this method is coming in this class through the inheritance, it will call the parent class method. Okay, but if it was not present, suppose if you will not write like this, still it will call, but which, parent class. And the parent, from the parent class, the the method is coming present in this child class also, okay. But when you are overriding, it will call the overridden method, okay. Overridden method, because that method which was coming to in the parent from the parent class is overridden, so it will call this. So in the runtime it is deciding that okay, this method is coming from the parent class which is overridden in the child class. So mechanism will decide in the way, that's why we say it dynamic by overloading or yeah. When you are writing child class object, will the child class reference, see, instance variable of the which class, child class, object is created for which class, child class. So its priority will be child class. If that is overriding, then it has to call overridden method only. But suppose you write like this is upcasting. So what it will say, not this is down. Here I will write like this, parent is equal to new parent, sorry, new child. Here I will write parent dot m. Here the object is created for the child class, but the reference is given for the parent object, okay. So the reference variable of the which class, parent class, okay. Now here I have explained this, you guys will be confused, that's why I didn't wanted to come on this topic. But since now it will go and check in the parent class whether it has M1 method or not, because the reference variable is of which class, reference variable is of parent class. So it will go to the parent class, it will go to the parent class and it will check that it has it this M1, okay, it has. Now it will go to child class, whether child class is overriding, yes, overriding. Let us run this program, and if that is overriding, then call this overridden method, okay. But you can see it has checked in the parent class. If that parent class does not have this M1 method, then even if I remove this override, okay, then you can see the error. And what is the error? That you are saying that I am passing the reference of the parent class and I am going to check this method in M1 method in the parent class, but M1 method is not present in the parent class, then why you are passing the reference variable of the parent? You just pass the child. So if you are writing like this, parent reference with the child object, then it will go to the parent class, it has to be present in the parent class. So whatever reference has been passed, either the child reference or the parent reference, so reference variable should have that method present in the referenced class, means in the parent class this M1 method should be present, okay. Now it going much deeper, just go, don't go to that part, will come later. If that is is it understandable to all, like everybody understand it or not? Since these are the complex topics, but it is not that much complex, yeah. Wait. Let me do it, otherwise I will, yeah. What you are saying, in the child class it will throw no error. Why it will throw the error? wait, what I have did. Okay, here I have commented, that's why the error. Okay, now you ask your question. Okay, there there is no error because those methods are coming in the child class through an inheritance. Okay, so if you run this program, then parent class method will be called. Okay, you you can see through inheritance that through inheritance this method is called. Okay, these methods are present in the child. You are creating the child object and calling the child class method, and child class method has three methods. Child has three methods, m1, m2 and m3. M3 has written by its own class, the child class has written this m3 method, and m1 and m2 are coming through inheritance. Otherwise, what is the need of inheritance? All the properties are coming through inheritance from the parent class. Okay. No, why it will? Because I have created the reference for child class only here. Okay, if you will refer the parent reference here, then it will be a question. Okay, in current situation, whatever the code is written, first ask that question, then I will write whatever you are saying. Okay, now in this code, what you have the doubt? What you have doubt in this code? See, first of all, it code is written to you. Is it there is any error? No, there is no any error. Okay, this is the concept of inheritance, that parent class has written some code. Okay, why child class will write that code again? Otherwise, what is the need of the inheritance? If it has to write that code, then what is the need of that? If this class wants to update some properties inside those methods, then it will write its own methods. Suppose this child class does not want to write any updated code, any updated version of the any free any paid feature, it doesn't want to give that user, then why it will update that code? If it still it has to update, then what is the need of inheritance? The code reusability is there, that's why it is extending parent class. Okay, if it has to write something, then what is the need of inheritance? I think that you missed the last session. Yeah, that's why this is a problem. I will upload today that recording, and then you will see that, and then come to this lecture. Okay. Okay, so okay, constructor chaining, let me cover it, and this part I will cover it tomorrow, and also that. Guys, you are doing the assignments or not? This parent child is equal to new child whatever I have written, we will have a separate session for this. Okay, separate session for this, so that you will able to understand, because these are tricky interview questions. We will cover in a day. We will just design, see whatever for you guys I am writing here. If you want Java interview questions, oh, yeah, sorry, uh, by mistake I left, actually I clicked in the different email ID, that's why it left. Okay, can you see my screen? Okay, so we'll send you, yeah, we'll send you some interview questions also, then you just go through with that, and then we'll just share that sheet. Okay. So okay, constructor chaining. In last session, now again you guys will have some problem if you have not joined last session. Then what is the constructor chaining? See, constructor you guys understand. Suppose child class, parent class, okay, main class. Okay, these are three different classes. Here in last session I told you that every class has a default constructor. In the Saturday I told you every class has default constructor, whether you write or not write doesn't matter, this code is present inside this class. This line number 10, 11, 12 and 13, these lines are present in the child class, even in parent class, any class that you create that has present this code. I have written this class child. So, child class constructor, default constructor is already present in this class. Similarly, inside parent class this code is present, whether you write it or not write it. Okay. And not only this much code, even the super method is written. This code is also written by default in the first line. This super can be written in the first line of the code after the constructor. After this bracket open, the first line should be super. If you write like this integer, any line you write, it will be throwing an error. It will say that super should be the first line of a statement. Okay. Constructor call must be the first statement in a constructor, and what is this constructor call I will tell you. Okay. So, whether you write or you not write, this super is written in the first line of code in every constructor, whether is a default or you manually create any constructor, you create a overloaded constructor, doesn't matter. Okay. So, what is constructor, that I have already covered in the Saturday session, many people not join. So, just go and watch that recording, then come to this, then you will able to understand. So, what I will write here sys out, even in this class also, even in this class also this code is written by default. Whether you write it, I am repeating again and again, that has some matter. Okay, that has some understanding. Now you have to ask that this is super. Okay, just leave it, I will come to that later. So, here I will write super class constructor. Okay. And in this class, see, practice makes a man perfect, this is a very famous line. Okay. If you will not practice the code, you will not able to understand. Okay. So, here I will write sys out parent class constructor. Okay. Now, which method? Okay. I will create object for child is equal new child. Let me you will need this code, I will comment this out. If you want this code, I will upload to GitHub and send you the URL. Okay, you just access from there. And how will you access? You can follow me on GitHub, guys. Okay, so here github.com and this Sonu Vandan 123. Here multiple codes for multiple batches. Just go to your relevant code. Suppose as of now this is your code. Suppose collection. Okay, so just click on this collection. Okay. And this code, just you go to this and download zip, unzip this folder. Once you unzip this, then you have open your Eclipse, go to file, import, okay, after unzipping import general existing project into the workspace, click on that and import that, browse and import that project. Okay. So, this way you can do it. Okay. By evening video you will find just after this session, and by evening you will get the code also. Okay. I have some work, so I will leave for today, but by evening you will get the code also. Okay. Just keep practicing. In my last batch students were more paying more attention and keep asking where is the code, this and that. So, I have to do everything on time. So, similar way you have to follow. This is just the starting of the course, some classes has been covered. Selenium is not that much easy and not that much hard. It is very easy if you make practice from day one, your Java concepts are clear. It is very hard if your Java concepts are not clear. Okay. So, this I wanted to show you just okay. So, if I am writing like this, just I will ping this URL, already I pinged in the demo session. So, if you want, oh, which URL I copy, this one, just your code will be uploaded and this name will be your folder name, June batch this and that and that. Okay. And here repositories, if you not find on the top, just click on the repositories and search. Okay. Search your code and just download that. Okay. If face any problem, just send me the screenshot in the Telegram channel and I will tell you. Okay. Here just note down this URL. Okay. I have pinged this URL into this chat box. Now child is equal to new child. Okay. Just this line I need to write. What it is, this is what? This is the constructor. Okay. This is the constructor call. So, before calling any method, constructor is called. Okay. So, constructor is called. Now, you can see child is equal to new child. Okay. So, which class constructor is called? Child, because you have created the object for which class? Child class. Okay. So, okay, it is connected to wireless. Okay. Here it will go to the child class and find out the constructor. Child constructor is this. Okay. This is the child constructor, child class constructor. But what I said, in the first line of code, this code is by default written whether you write it or not write it. Okay. If you write it, then it's okay. If you not write it, it is by default written. Okay. So, what does this mean? It is calling parent class constructor. What is doing? Parent class constructor it's calling. So, it will go to the parent class, okay, and call this, and parent class is also calling super, but super is a object class, it will ignore this. Okay. It does not need anything. Every class extends, if you not write, every class extends top class of the Java, which is object. Okay. So, it will not go anywhere, just object class has a nothing printed in the object class. Okay. Nothing printed. So, you will not able to see, if anybody Java developer will go and write something there, you will able to see, but here it will go to there and there is nothing code written inside that. So, it will now it will execute this line, super class constructor. Okay. So, first line will be printed in the console will be super class, okay, here, and then it will go back where from here it came. So, it came from this one child class and execute this line, parent class constructor. Although I have written this is child class and this is parent class. I have written in wrong way. So, first line will be printed parent class constructor, and second, because this is the parent class, right. So, this is the way parent class constructor and this is the child class constructor. Okay. So, I will run this program. Okay, go to main, right click and run this. You will see this. Okay. First output is parent class constructor and second is child class constructor. Okay, parent class and child class constructor. Now you are saying I am saying that this is by default written. So if I comment this, then the output should be same. Your question should be this, sir, please comment this line. If by default this code is written, then the output should be same. Whenever this class is calling, this child class is calling, whenever you are creating the object for the child class, it is going to the child class, and if it is written in the first line of the code, whether you write it or not write it, it should call parent. Yes, I will do that, and the output will be same. Can see. So what does it mean? This is constructor chaining. Okay, and this is constructor chaining. And in the last session I told you two reasons, just because of them the multiple inheritance is not possible, and this is the second reason. First reason I explained that day, second reason is this. Okay, second reason is this, just because of why the multiple inheritance is not possible in Java, because of constructor chaining. How? See, this child class is extending parent class. Okay, suppose it has one more parent, parent 2, means child class wants to extend two different parent classes. Now here in the child class constructor you have written super. Now tell me, it has two parent classes. Super means it is trying to call its parent class constructor. Super method, it is saying that you are trying to call the parent class constructor, and here it has two parent classes. Now tell this child class constructor which parent class constructor it should invoke. Now it is confused. Okay. So this is why, just because of that, multiple inheritance in the Java has not been implemented by Java developers. Don't say it that multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. Just in the last session I had a question that just remove this and then see, means last session someone asked me question, then sir this method is that, so just don't ask, if you will see the lecture you will remember the question. So I said, if you say that I will not override two classes, two different, then if it is implementing those methods, you will just don't remember, but I answered in that session. Okay. So here if you have two parent classes, this constructor will be confused which parent class it needs to invoke. Currently it has only one parent class, suppose comma parent 2, so it will be confused. So this is one of the reasons, just because of why the multiple inheritance is not possible in Java, and the first one was method ambiguity. Okay, that I explained in the Saturday session. Okay. So anybody has any doubt in constructor chaining? And see, in the last session in the Saturday I told you, you can create your default constructor as well. If you create you can create your manual constructor in the class as well, but whenever you will create the manual constructor, default constructor will be killed. Okay. So then you have to define default constructor manually. This whatever this all was covered in the first session, in the Saturday session. So you have to go with that session, then come to this, otherwise there will be a problem. Okay. Anybody has any issue, then ask me, otherwise let us wind up the session for today. Okay, so guys, this is the email ID. College, yeah, ask me. College to industry at the rate gmail.com. Whatever feedbacks you have, if this class was useful, then just mail it to this email ID. If this class was not useful, then still email to this ID. If you are not able to understand explanation, then please mail into this email ID. Okay, college to industry at the rate gmail.com. I will be expecting your feedbacks, whatever I have delivered. Okay, so just give me a feedback in this email ID. Okay, yeah, 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 yeah. Just leave the selenium, just leave the selenium. When yeah, when we will be doing the assignment with the one mini project will be given uh, in the collection topic. After the collection, when I will cover, then there will be a mini project. Even that assignment you will face this, will you have to use this. Okay, so once you will use that, so see, there are lots of concept in Java. It does not need everywhere you have to use that. Where whatever the usability in the place, you have to use that concept only. Okay, does not mean that you know the concept you have to use that. Okay, but in the project, mini project, I have designed in the collection in the way that you have to use this concept. Without using, either you will write more code, irrelevant code. If you will use that, then code will be reduced. Okay, so there you will understand why we are using that. Okay, so okay, so this is from my